Hey, let's give it up for the crew.
On my way to the my first ever AEW event. It's Dynamite, June, 17th or something? And it cost me about $60, I believe, $70 with parking. I'm in the 200 seats, and it's about, I think my GPS said 48 minutes away, which usually you have to add about 10 more minutes for me because my car can only go 65 miles an hour depending, and I have to avoid when the highways connect because usually you have to go up a hill. My car can't really go up hills. But yeah, the last time I went to a wrestling event was, I believe the main event was Alberto Del Rio versus Rey Mysterio Jr. Or Rey Mysterio, excuse me. He'll always be a junior to me. Yeah, that was about 12 to 13 or 14 years ago in Michigan. Lansing or Flint, can't remember which one. And yeah, I got a Sting shirt too, by the way. Sting is my shirt. So, all right, well, gotta go. All right, so I am walking out of AEW Dynamite right now. Actually, I'm walking out of AEW Collision. I couldn't stay for the entire Collision, which sucks because I really wanted to watch. I guess Chris Jericho is going to be on Collision this weekend. I'm not going to do any spoilers, but I did stay and watch the first match. And I can just say that I totally understand now why the Young Bucks were so popular on the indie scene. Like, holy cow. Like, that was the first Young Bucks match that I've ever seen live. Yeah, they're pretty amazing doing some things. Even Jack Perry and Jay Lethal. I actually got to see Jay Lethal live too. So yeah, that was cool. Dynamite, I'll say, I think I walked in pretty tired from work today, and the first hour didn't really hit hard for me. In fact, when Kenny Omega won the first match, it was very quick, and I actually liked that it was a pretty quick match. But the fact is, like, I guess that was Zack Sabre Jr. maybe that came out, and they kind of had a face-off. That was kind of awkward. That's probably because I didn't know what was really going on. I'm a pretty new AEW fan. I'm a WWE fanboy. I don't know if I'd consider myself an AEW fanboy just yet, but I'm getting there. Where did I park? I think I parked way out there. So this is the arena and stuff. But let's see. Oh, look at that. Oh, the arena. Let's look around the arena. So yeah, I didn't really, it was awkward. The first segment was awkward after the match. Then we had the Death Riders versus Bandito and Brody King. And that was pretty solid. It was a long match, though. It was a little long. Plus, like I said, I was kind of tired. So there were high moments and low moments for me when it came to that match. But it wasn't bad or anything. It was the second hour that really picked up. I really enjoyed myself the second hour of the show. We had Mercedes Moné. She beat somebody. So cool. I like Mercedes Moné. Actually, Sasha Banks is one of my favorite women's wrestlers and one of my favorite wrestlers, honestly. So I was really happy to get to see her. That match was really good. It was funny because there was a lot of back and forths, and someone said that, like, behind me, they were like, this is a great example how hard it is to fire a CEO in real life because Mercedes Moné kept, like, kicking out and stuff. And the crowd, by the way, was really on point tonight. Really on point. It was fun. I definitely was able to enjoy myself through the crowd. The first hour, actually, I enjoyed myself more as part of the crowd than I did watching the show. But the second hour of the show, I just enjoyed it in general. I really liked the Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland interview. It was it kind of reminded me how Roman Reigns and CM Punk were cutting promos on each other at the beginning of the year heading into WrestleMania. That's what it kind of felt like. So that was really cool. And then at one point, Swerve was like, "You changed, man, you changed." And Will's like, no, I haven't. And then the Death Riders come to back him up. So yeah, he has. Let's see. I'm probably going to stop here in a minute. I'm about to pass a bunch of people. All right, I'm back, and I'm still looking for my car. I think I'm getting closer. Let's see. Oh, the whole ticket price was $70, and let's see what else happened. Oh, so it was very it wasn't really story driven tonight, and I'm more of a stories guy. So I did really enjoy when Swerve and Ospreay started retelling their story. I like that they have history, and they kind of just caught everybody up to speed with their history of everything from how they teamed up to fight the Death Riders and whatnot. So that was cool. And then there was a 6-on-6 match. I thought it was weird that they were giving away the 6-on-6 match because they're just going to redo it at Forbidden Door. And I mean, it'll be in a cage and all, but still, it's just I was surprised they were doing that. And I typically don't like big matches like that unless it's like the Survivor Series, to be honest with you. But I'm not going to lie. This might have been the best multi-man match I've ever seen, 6-on-6, because they were able to tell a lot of stories from MJF not liking and bad-mouthing Andrade to Darby Allin coming back for Kyle Fletcher, chasing him around the ring. We had Takesha. I've been last couple weeks, I've been where's Takesha? And while he came back, there's Okada. There was this one, oh my God, it was so funny. There was this one sequence where they kept taking Orange Cassidy's arm, and they were one guy, I think it might have been Mark Davis, I'm not sure, but he was grabbing the guy, Orange Cassidy's hand, and then he was just but he was facing this way, so he couldn't see who he was grabbing, but he would take his arm and just bring it down on his shoulder, hurting him. And he did it 2 or 3 times. And so he just kept waiting there for basically Orange Cassidy's arm. And so one time MJF gets Orange Cassidy, and he's like, should I give it to Mark Davis? And everyone's like, no, or yes, whatever the case may be. But he gives it to Mark Davis, but Orange Cassidy reverses it, and he gives Mark Davis MJF's arm, but Mark Davis isn't looking, and so he just starts doing it, and Kyle Fletcher's like, stop, but Andrade's like, do it. So that was really funny. I really enjoyed that, actually. And then Mark Briscoe ended up taking the L. It was just really good. There was a lot of good storytelling in that match itself. I'm actually shocked. I promise you, I do not like multi-man tag matches for the most part, and I really enjoyed myself in that one. So there's my car, by the way. My lonely car. Do you see it? Yeah, my lonely car. I parked all the way out here in case there was a lot of traffic. But yeah, I'm not going to do a beat by beat review of this Dynamite, because it's obviously going to be very different from watching it. I don't get to hear the announcers. I'm feeling the energy of the crowd, so it's it's difficult for me to say, oh yeah, this was the greatest Dynamite of all time. I will say though that I enjoyed myself. I'm glad I came. I came by myself because I have no friends. It was a last minute decision. I bought the ticket last minute. It wasn't sold. It was almost sold out. I think. I don't know how many I don't know how many it sat, but I was in the 200s, and my row was completely empty, actually. But every row above me, every row below me was full. So I don't know why my row was empty. I don't even have friends when I'm trying to buy some friends. but no, I would say it was probably a 98% sellout. It was in a theater, so it was kind of, I was never used to that kind of seating arrangement, but it was still solid. I liked it. It probably looked weird. Might have looked weird on camera, but I didn't have any issues with it whatsoever. So I would say $70 with parking, everything. Very much enjoyed myself. I could see myself coming to one of these again. I wouldn't mind. I'll probably do some hot takes tomorrow. So this is my This is my my experience. I don't know. I'm kind of maybe I'll go home and think on it more. I'll sleep on it. But I did enjoy myself. I really enjoyed the people, the crowd. Jack Perry, he came out with the Young Bucks on Collision, and his song is catchy. His song is catchy. It was really cool. I was like kind of just in awe of the crowd, and not in the way of the Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns, Roman. Not in that kind of. It wasn't that kind of crowd. It felt very organic, the crowd. And I'm very much an atmosphere kind of person. And you know what else I liked? There was this one spot where it was Kyle Fletcher, I think Kyle O'Reilly. They were in that 6-man match, and Kyle Fletcher's in there, and they're like, tag in Kyle O'Reilly, tag him in. And so then the crowd started saying, let's go Kyle sucks. Because they're both named Kyle. I laughed so hard. AEW fans are goofballs in all the good ways. All right, so let's do some hot takes tomorrow. I'm not sure if I said this, but the reason why I left Collision early, it's not because it wasn't good. In fact, they were having Athena versus Mile World, and I hate that I had to walk out on that. But I just, we have new stuff happening at my restaurant, and I gotta be there like very early in the morning. So that's why I'm leaving. It has nothing to do with my boredom and stuff. In fact, as the show went on, I just got better and better. Even Collision, I was really hyped for the Collision match, and I didn't even know 2 of the participants. And for the record, I'm a little like low energy right now because I'm going off of 3 hours of sleep from last night. Tuesday night's like our inventory night. So sorry to give you like a rundown of my entire work week, but I don't want people to be like, oh wow, he looked like he enjoyed himself. All right, it's the next day. I was hoping to get this video up way sooner, but well, work was busy. So here we are. I will get to some hot takes. I won't be able to do a lot of them, but I can do some. And I wanted to expound upon 2 things that I forgot to talk about last night. So not expound upon, but just bring it up. So the War Dogs were supposed to come out at one point, and they didn't. And I'm like, where are the War Dogs? I was really interested in seeing the War Dogs, but then they just started getting beat up. They get thrown out from behind, and it's Edge and Christian Cope, whatever his name is, Adam Copeland, whatever his name is. They throw him out, and the War Dogs run away, or the Dogs. I was disappointed in that. However, I was very surprised with how I felt about Edge and Christian in the ring. Christian was hilarious as usual, and Edge's promo was a little cheesy, but at the end of the day, they really hit some like nostalgia points with me. I didn't realize I was susceptible to that nostalgia with those 2, but I was like, oh my God, it brought me way back to when I was like going to Vengeance in like 1999 or something. I was like, holy cow, I don't even know if they wrestled at that pay-per-view, PLE, whatever it is. But like I hadn't seen these guys live in like 20 years. It was like, I was like, wow, I felt something. I got like some childhood memory, not childhood memories. Back in the Attitude Era, I was like 18, 19. I got some like early 20s, late 19s memories going on there, and it was really cool. The other thing I forgot to mention was Mark Briscoe. I have always seen this dude, well, for the last like year or so, I have seen this dude here and there, and I just didn't know what his appeal was, but I don't know. I'm a Mark Briscoe fan now. His interviews are really just, they're very unpolished. It just seems like he is having the best time of his life and making the most of it at the same time. And I can tell that he loves wrestling, and I love that. Mark Briscoe, like, out of all the guys, like Takesha, when I first started watching AEW, I was really gravitating towards Takesha, but since he's been kind of off TV since like after Double or Nothing, I kind of like, I feel like I'm more like a Mark Briscoe fan, and it's so weird. He's usually a type of wrestler that I'm not a big fan of, but I'm really enjoying this dude. I'm trying to compare him to somebody, but I don't know who to compare him to. He might be a 101, and I know this guy's been around for like forever in Ring of Honor and stuff, so like, I'm a very, very late addition to the Mark Briscoe bandwagon, but like, you know, count me in. Also, I do realize I watched some of my footage from last night. I realized I called the Jet Kyle Fletcher, and I got Mark Davis. I said it was Mark Davis, but it wasn't Mark Davis. I forget who it was. I can't even remember the guy's name right now, but I realized I got those two names wrong. My apologies. Okay, so let's do 3 hot takes because I am pressed for time, but I promise you, if I can ever do YouTube full time, you guys and gals will get more AEW content. Bucky Barnes, NC, says the talent is good, but storytelling sucks. I mean, that's subjective. That is subjective. There are people out there, believe it or not, who don't like Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Can you believe it? But then there are some people who do. Just like there are some people who like AEW and some people who don't. There are some people who like DC Comics and there are some people who don't. They prefer Marvel and some people hate Marvel. Some people like both. So saying the storytelling sucks, I mean, it's subjective. Seven Night Samurai says, I thought the finale was a lot of fun. Agreed. MJF's reign is less impressive compared to Darby's now. I don't think he needs a belt, at least not as much as he thinks he does. Well, you know what? Honestly, that's subjective too. I actually am really enjoying MJF's title run. Now, I get it. It's not impressive in the sense that he's not having as many matches. I mean, wasn't Darby doing like one match on Collision, one match on Dynamite, one match on Collision? Like he was just doing match after match after match. So that's very impressive, but the fact that MJF is also elevating people with the feuds. He's constantly talking about Andrade, the Jet, I think Kyle Fletcher, not sure, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, I think he mentioned Hangman Adam Page as well. Did I say Andrade last week? Rouge? So, like, there's Briscoe. Like, I am probably enjoying Mark Briscoe. I probably became a fan of Mark Briscoe because of his interactions with MJF. So, yes, Darby Allin's title reign was super impressive, but MJF's, to me, very different, but equally impressive, just, different. I Love AEW Wrestling says, I hope the Dogs beat Adam Copeland and Christian Cage for the tag team titles because they deserve it, putting in so much great work. I hope they beat them too. I hope they beat them too. But I hope after they beat them, the feud continues. Yanko Aquaman says, the Don Callis family is too big for anyone to remember who's in it, let alone care about anyone who joins. Let heels do their own thing without being told what to do by Don Callis. I actually agree with this. Like earlier I got Mark Davis mixed up with somebody else. I don't even know that guy's name. I can't even remember that guy's name right now. And it's probably because there are just too many faces in the Don Callis family. And I said this a couple weeks ago, and I still say it now. I wish the Jet was on his own. I think he's doing good with Don Callis, but I think he would be doing just as good, if not better, without him. I mean, I don't hate that he's with him, but like you said, there's just so many people in the Don Callis family. It's just like, you just get lost. El Fanatico says, overall, it was a good, fun show. I agree. I actually, there's a part of me that debated putting up my video because I feel like how I presented myself was more of me being really, really tired, fatigued, and dreading today at my job. And so I feel like I wasn't sure if I gave a good representation of how I felt last night. I really did enjoy myself. Now, I do feel the first hour was kind of could have been better, but second hour was great. And then the second and a half hour was really good. So, I don't know. I hope people heard my words and that I did enjoy myself from last night because it was a good show. That's the last hot take, but don't leave just yet. So I did film Tony Khan in between Dynamite and Collision saying a message to the audience, and I thought much respect for what Tony Khan says here. And I'm going to play it. I posted this on TikTok with kind of commentary also. So I'm going to post his clip, my commentary, and that's the end of the video.
But before I go back, it takes great wrestling fans to put wrestling on year-round. There's only one sport, and Houston's a great sports town. There's only one sport that goes year-round, 52 weeks a year with no breaks and no off-season. Pro wrestling. It's only possible because of the great wrestlers, you great fans, and the women and men around the ring and in the truck in the back. Hey, let's give it up for the crew. Crew.
That was between Collision and Dynamite taping tonight, and I gotta say this, like, I've heard so many people make fun of Tony Khan before for being a mark or whatever, and I'm like, don't we hate TKO for how greedy they are? You got that billionaire guy right there saying how much he loves wrestling and like getting a chant for the ring crew. Like, holy crap, I love that guy. You don't have to like his product, you don't have to like AEW even, but I think we should all respect the love of the game that guy actually has and the love of his employees that he has for them. Like, holy crap, could you imagine if Triple H came out and got a chant going for the ring crew? Yeah, don't think you could.